what Rick Warren said was that if this cup was filled with poison, but I believe with the best of intentions that it wasn't, and I still drank it, will the poison kill me still?
You're still going to die.
You're still going to die. We're talking about the revolution. And I think really a major point of the revolution is it's being free in Christ. The song "I Am Free" is an awesome testimony to the revolution, and I think to Christ, because it basically goes to the point that I am free to dance, I'm free to sing, I'm free to worship, and there's a great story behind the song. Actually, the writer is actually a worship leader, and he's been a worship leader. He's been called to be a worship leader for a long time, and he was scared to get up in front of people. He was scared to death to get up in front of people to lead worship, and finally a youth pastor sat down with him. You know, he was set to lead worship that night. The youth pastor sat down with him, and he asked him, he says, "Do you feel called to lead worship?" And he said, "Yeah, I do feel called." And he said, "Then what's the problem? Whether you're scared or not, you get up there and lead worship." And it opened his eyes that through Christ we're free to do whatever we're called to do. And of course, all of us are called to follow Christ. And speaking of Jesus Christ, that's the biggest rebellion I think that the world has ever seen. He rebelled against society and said that it's not about society. It's about what the commandments say. It's about what the Father says in a relationship.
Rebellion is living for Christ. That's the only rebellion that's really left, isn't it?
They rebelled, and it led them to death. In both those instances and many more, Jesus Christ's rebellion led to death on a cross. But to rebel in Christ, to rebel to Christ, not rebel against Christ, but to rebel to Christ, only brings life. And that's
what the revolution is about. The revolution is about a group of people who are going to stand up and say, "You know what, I'm tired. I'm tired and I'm sick of this game plan that we call church or relationship, and I'm going to rebel. I'm going to live for Christ." And that's what this is about. That's what the whole revolution is about. We want to see students, man, who are challenged. I want to see youth pastors who are challenged in their faith, man. I want to see churches that are
and
challenged.
come together.
Come together, be challenged in their faith. Wouldn't it be awesome? What do you think the schools around here would think if all those kids who were at all the youth groups in this area on Wednesday nights started living like they actually knew who Jesus was Monday through Friday? I think the schools would notice a difference.
I think that the community would notice. I think one of the ways to rebel is prayer, because you know the world tells us that we don't need to pray. The world says there's no God. And of course the devil has been voicing that loud and clear ever since he got kicked out of heaven. But the world says there's no God and there's no reason to pray. And I think our biggest thing to rebel is rebel in prayer. Pray about everything. I think Casting Crowns had the song, "What if his people prayed?"
Yeah.
And I just love the, of course, the part, what if his people prayed? And what if all of his people knelt down in prayer instead of asking Oprah what?
Where students want to rebel. I think that we're at a place where students are questioning what they believe. And why do you think that is? Personally, I think that students question what they believe because they're not seeing it anywhere else. They're not seeing what they're being taught. Well, you know what? Maybe you're not seeing it, then start living it yourselves. You be the rebels who teach others.
It's time to join the revolution.
It's time to join the revolution.
This is kind of sad when you look at all this. Places like this are where kids go on Friday nights. Yeah, football games, Friday and Saturday nights. They come out places like this and they get lit, and they call that life.
Yeah, drinking.
Yeah,
it's all about drinking beer, smoking, getting some kind of drugs, whether it's marijuana or meth.
And waking up hugging the porcelain throne.
Yeah,
like that's the best part of their life, you know. And it's kind of sad when you look out here and see this, but that's what they do. We're both youth pastors, and we deal with teenagers on a regular basis. And the thing is, dude, I know that you see it, I see it. Our kids, some of those kids that we're talking about that are out here Friday and Saturday night,
Probably come to a youth group.
yeah, probably come to our youth group. And
Maybe watching this video.
you may
right
see
now.
this right now, yeah. And here's the other thing: they struggle with if what we're teaching is really real. They struggle with if what we say is true. And I don't know, but through talking to them, what I've noticed is that they don't struggle because they see challenges. They believe that you and I are sincere in what we say. They believe that we really believe what we're talking about. That's our truth. That's our truth. I think what they struggle with is when they look at their peers who are sitting beside them in youth group on Wednesday night. But out here on Friday night, that same peer, I want to see a group of kids who stand up and say, "Hey man, I'm gonna live for Christ. I'm gonna be the one who goes the extra mile. I'm gonna be the one who doesn't go out and go to those parties. I'm gonna be the one who's the guy that's loving people regardless of how they treat me." And I don't know about you, to me that seems like a real rebellion.
For us to stand up and say it's not about my truth, it's not about your truth, it's about Jesus Christ,
right.
who is the truth.
Exactly.
And he died for us, and he loves us.
And he created us. But we bring a bunch of students together on New Year's Eve.
On New Year's Eve, yes.
On New Year's Eve. And we set it up, and we talk about real rebellion, about God's rebellion, about rebelling for Christ.
I agree.
And why don't we set it up and we call it the Rebelution?
The Revolution at 10:37.
At 10:37, so we can rebel against regular clock.
December 31st at 10:37.
10:37.
Let's meet up.
Let's do it. We'll call it the Rebelution. We'll get a couple hundred kids together. We'll bring them into our building. We'll have some crazy games. We'll talk about what it means to really live for Christ, to rebel against culture, to rebel against this kind of stuff, and to be rebels, to join the real revolution.
The Revolution.
That's right.
Revolution 2009.
Here we come. You ready? I don't think you're ready. You think they're ready?
I don't know. Are you ready?
Revolution!
The revolution starts. And we encourage every church that wants to participate to join the revolution. And
Inform us if you're drunk and naked and driving around on a